Amen. That's right. I see you out there. 92.1, 101.7. Great to have you with us. Of course, if you have your free download, your iHeartRadio app, that means we are worldwide. You could be, I guess that literally means anywhere in the world listening right now. That's fantastic to even just consider. Thank you for being with us. And of course, live stream with us as well. You can do that on Facebook and YouTube. That's Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook. That's Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube, home of a ton of informational chunk videos. And of course, you're always welcome to be a part of the program. Toll free at 877-927-6969. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate? Don't be shy. Dive on in. First voice you'll hear, the melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's Jimothy, my brother from another mother. What's up, dude?
Johnny, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
All right, doing pretty good.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Always good to see you as well.
Saturday's awesome for a lot of reasons, and one of them happens to be I get to see my dude.
Good to see you too.
Good to see you, man. Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your pal. Let's get your starting lineup on a Saturday morning. Always a pleasure. It feels like it's been a few weeks since I've been able to say good morning to my friend and yours. That's Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
Not a whole lot, man. Good to see you. It has been a couple weeks, I guess.
It feels like it's been a little while.
Yeah. Slacker.
In our new studio, just super slacker over here. We have a little reconfiguration in the studio because we have some guests I'm going to be introducing here shortly. But Ross is like on the other side of the country from me right now.
I know. Usually I'm kind of right next to you.
I know. I can like reach out and give you daps.
Yeah.
Nice to see you over there, my dude.
I can wave.
Hi. We do have our fearless leader, 13 plus years now. I've told you he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. He's feverishly running around right now, though. Yeah. Jimmy D, how you be? Jim Paola, what's going on?
Happy South Florida.
See what happens when you reconfigure?
Yeah, I hate technology issues, but I'm so excited that we have special guests here today. Besides, of course, Ross is always a special guest, but
well, he's VIP, you know what I mean?
Yes, VIP for sure. But we have
going through the back entrance.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're that VIP. Yeah.
All righty.
One day, Jimmy.
One day.
So we're going to have special guests Greg and Diane on. You're going to see them on Facebook and YouTube right now, but we're going to talk to them a little bit later about their seller-buyer process. I thought it would be a really good teaching moment for people that are thinking about selling a house and buying another home, but they need the money from the first home to buy the new home, and the process for that, because it's a big chicken and egg problem. So I thought we'd get real-life people, Johnny, here talking about actually how it's done and how to do it the right way, because if you don't do it right, you can go through a lot of problems.
Excellent. And if you've listened, regularly, you've heard the name. We often poke a little light at it and go, "You mean Jack and Diane?" I've heard a little story about Jack. We've kind of followed the process a little bit, but we're going to get a lot of detail today, and that's exciting. We also got details on an open house coming up today and a lot more to get into. Always remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is your one-stop real estate shop. It's floridatalkrealestate.com. When you need a team of pros to walk you through a seller buyer experience or anything that touches the world of real estate, remember floridatalkrealestate.com.
Thank you so much. Just a couple shout outs right away to Susan and Daryl, both longtime customers of ours. Daryl's now in South Carolina, still catches us on YouTube or Facebook.
That was easy to say. Huh?
I know, right? I'm a little hyped out right now. I got to come down. And then it's been a hectic morning. And then Susan is always been a loyal fan, and thank you so much. And thank you for letting me know everybody can hear us. I didn't know if we were having an echo problem. Daryl's up in South Carolina, and we're going to be helping another of our customers who's a big time fan, who's also going to be a seller buyer. And Kathy, she's going to be selling down here in West Palm and moving up to South Carolina, just like we did for Daryl and his family.
Nice.
So now we have another family moving to the same state, different area. So we placed them with a different agent. We'll talk about that later.
I love South Carolina.
South Carolina is really nice.
Now, granted, I'm like, I think about Myrtle Beach when I think about South Carolina, because that's where I had family and visited a lot.
Did you?
But still love South Carolina. The only thing I don't like about South Carolina, here's the one thing I don't like about South Carolina. When you're driving to, like, say, North Carolina,
yeah,
right, from here,
right,
when you get into South Carolina, 95 goes down to 2 lanes.
Really?
Yeah. Total bottleneck if you have any kind of...
If you have anything, you're stuck.
Yo, man, it can be frustrating, that's for sure. But
South
once you're there, Kakalaki or Kakalaki?
South Kakalaki.
Kakalaki.
Gesundheit.
I think I always said Kakahaki.
Kakahaki?
It's Kakalaki.
I always thought it was Kakalaki.
Oh,
But I mean,
no.
you're from California.
Yeah, so I
You know,
probably
so
say
that's
it
probably a
wrong.
West Coast
Is
way.
that a
and
real
there's an
name?
East Coast way.
South Kakalaki?
No, come on, really?
Yeah.
For South Carolina.
Yeah, South
Kakalaki.
Carolina.
You guys
Welcome
are
to the
pulling my
show.
leg now. I'm gonna have to look.
No, that's for real. I just don't know who's saying it right.
Because I just like because one of my favorite towns in Florida is Okahumpka, right? I love Okahumpka. I love saying that.
Okahumpka?
Kakalaki, though, is right up there. I like Kakalaki.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's officially, the name of the state, but
So then Oh, you were saying that was the name of the state? I thought
Like
there
a
was
nickname.
South,
city.
yeah, it's
I'm
like
sorry, I
South
wasn't-
Carolina is like a
was doing
nickname
the
for
thing.
South Carolina is South Kakalaki.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were
Kakalaki.
saying there was a
South-
town named Kakalaki
South
in South Carolina.
There could be.
There is now, as far as I'm concerned, there is now.
Oh, the Google machine's going off right now.
Yeah.
South
If Mike
Kakalaki.
was here, he'd be Googling away right now. Mr. Fact Checker, Mike Ralph from the mortgage firm is off today. He'll be on next week. We're going to have some really good stuff to talk about next week about the down payment assistance program. We're going to talk a little bit about it today, but you got to get reared up and raring to go for that program. And we're going to go deep into the down payment assistance program next week. I'm really looking forward to it and have Mike back on. I think we have our first caller today, which is Shauna Tran.
Shauna, yep. Mhm.
Yep.
Shauna's on the line for an open house. Shauna, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Hi, thank you guys so much for having me.
Hi, Shauna.
Morning.
Morning.
Hey, good. I didn't even get a chance to tell Johnny today what was going on because we have technical difficulties.
No, I caught wind that there was an open house.
But you
Yeah.
had no idea what house or who was calling or
Yeah,
anything.
whose
but you're
house?
The pro, but you're the pro, right? Hey, Shauna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Good, good. Shauna is with Keller Williams Innovations, the brokerage that I work with down in Boynton Beach. She's one of the growing agents out there because you haven't been an agent that long, Shauna, right? How long have you been an agent now?
I actually just made 1 year, so
Oh, cool. Congrats.
And let me
Happy
Yeah.
anniversary.
And
Yeah.
yes, happy anniversary. Let me tell you, she's in production and she knows what she's doing. She's got a really great career ahead of her.
Well, KW does so much training that they set you up to succeed. That's for sure.
And you know what?
absolutely.
And Shauna's there all the time. Like if there's training, she's there. When I go in the office, she's always one of the only people in the office all the time. Being in the office, if you're not out in the field, that's the way you become productive, is like treating it like a job and being there every day. Shauna's doing that. She's a
Definitely.
great agent.
Nice.
And she's
Thank
done
you.
done really well on open houses in the past. Sorry, Shauna, there's a little delay, so I'm going to slow down because I'm stepping on you. So sorry, Johnny. Now you know how Johnny feels every day. So you're doing the open house first today. Can you tell us a little about where you're going to be and what it's about?
Absolutely. So I'll be at 5 Danby Place in Boynton Beach. It's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom home. Got some updated features, some beautiful sliding barn doors. The sunroom is my favorite part. It's a giant sunroom when it's air conditioned. So in the summertime or in the wintertime really is our best time. You can open it up and kind of have that indoor-outdoor living that we all love in Florida. So
And how many bedrooms and baths, and what's the size of it and the price?
it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms. It's a little over 1,400 square feet. So it's hard to come by. It's under 400. I'm sorry, it's listed at 460,000. So it's perfectly priced, single family detached,
And it's in
highly desirable.
an HOA. It's Boynton Lakes, right? Boynton Lakes North.
Correct. Yeah. And the HOA is low. So obviously everybody wants low HOA.
And what is the HOA over there?
It's $355.
Okay, yeah. So under $400 a month for the HOA. You're in a great
Mhm.
community that's centrally located. You're getting a single family home with a brand new roof, because that roof was put on, if I'm not mistaken, either January or February this year. So when I say brand new roof, I mean it's weeks old, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's under 500,000 for a single family home in Palm Beach County that's not a 55 and over. So there are deals out there to be had. You know, people saying, "Oh, it's too unaffordable and stuff." Single family home under 500 in Palm Beach County, that's really, really good. 460 in Port St. Lucie, Johnny. The average home up there, the median sales price up there is 410. So this is like a Port St. Lucie price almost.
Oh, yeah.
And the house is in really good condition, right? It isn't like it's a total gut job or anything like that, right?
Absolutely, yeah. They have some updates and some original features, but the owners have done a really good job at keeping it in really good condition. And it's located right next to the 2 community pools, so it's within walking distance. So it's a snatch.
It definitely is. And what I love that sunroom too, Shauna. And the other thing that's nice about that particular house is that the backyard faces an open green area. So you're not looking at like neighbors right on top of you or anything. You've got some green space. It looks like a really nice place to have a cup of coffee in the morning or something, or, just chill out at night before you go to bed. I love that. And the other thing is that while it's 1,400 square feet, a little bit larger than 1,400 square feet, but it feels like a home. It doesn't have like an apartment layout. It's got a nice open layout. And one of the things that's nice is that the ceilings are kind of vaulted. So it gives it a bigger feel when you walk into the house. Do you kind of agree with me?
Oh, definitely. And it's got a beautiful sunlight too that is right outside the kitchen. So you get some natural sunlight from all around as well.
Yeah. So the house is in very, very good condition. It's ready to go. It isn't some kind of like, I got to do everything in this house just to move in. That's not true. If you want to do some upgrades, there's opportunity there, but you don't have to. It's priced based on, where it's at right now in the community. So you got to go out there and check it out. It's 5 Danby, that's Danby, Danby Place in Boynton Beach, Boynton Lakes North. If you want to check it out, just go to our Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page and you'll see our post about it. We have a couple videos out there. Go over there and check it out, and then go stop by and say hello to Shauna. Shauna, what time are you going to be there today?
I will be there today from 1 to 3 p.m.
1 to 3 p.m. 1 to 3 p.m. That's excellent. Is there anything else that you think that we should mention about the house or the open house today?
I had a chance to talk to a lot of the neighbors yesterday, and it seems like everybody really loves the neighborhood. So that's always a good point as well. So great neighborhood, beautiful home. I'll be there from 1 to 3 if anybody wants to come out and check it out.
Yeah, go out and say hello to Shauna. And, this house is a really good opportunity for anybody looking for that affordable single family home in Palm Beach County. You got to check out that house. But if not, just check it out and say hello to Shauna and see if there's a way that she can help you. And Shauna, do me a favor when you're there today.
Mm-hmm.
Sell that house. Do me a favor, sell that house. Okay?
No pressure.
You got it. Thank you guys.
That's a nice house.
Thanks, Shauna. It is a nice house. Thank you. Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you, Shauna. Have a great day out there. I think that's I don't know, and maybe I think there's a real good chance that I'm just making this my own in my head, but I think it's a really good sign about the neighborhood if you're walking around and people are actually answering the door and actually willing to like talk to you for a second. So many people just don't answer the damn door anymore. Like,
Don't
so many
Dare
people.
knock on my door.
I've been to houses where they're all shh. I'm like, someone's at your door. They're like, shh. I'm like, dude, someone's at your door.
That's right. You hide
You
behind
might
the couch.
like when that happens, you answer it. They're
in
like,
case I look
quiet.
through the window.
I'm like, what is the FBI looking for you or something? What are we
Maybe.
doing here?
Maybe.
But that's what we've evolved to. So I don't know. I just feel like it's a good sign of the neighborhood if they're actually answering the door. They're taking the time to talk to Shauna a little bit. Hey, yeah, it is a nice neighborhood. I think that's part of that nice neighborhood. Actually, your neighbors are friendly, maybe actually look out for you a little bit. Hey, I noticed there was a car parked out in front. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Those are the little things that I appreciate of a neighborhood. Sounds like you might actually get it there.
Yeah, and that neighborhood, and we forgot to mention this as a feature. It's on a cul-de-sac, so it not only is it's tucked away in the community. So the only person going down your street are the people that live there or the people that were invited to be there.
So definitely, if
Or
they notice
Shauna.
cars that are like abnormal, then they're noticing. Yeah.
If you see a
Abby
white
normal.
unmarked van outside my house, let me know.
So everybody, 5 Danby Place, Danby, if you're trying to search it. 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, single family home with a brand new roof, ready to go at $460. Go check it out today, and go talk to Shauna about buying that home.
Excellent. And details on Facebook page for Florida Talk Real Estate, also on floridatalkrealestate.com. Yes.
Mhm. I don't know if it's on floridatalkrealestate.com right now because we're doing a rebuild of the website, which will
Gotcha.
have a big announcement in July. about
Facebook
that.
page is always a
Facebook
wonderful
is the
resource.
way,
Yes.
for right now.
Very good.
I want to do a couple shout outs, Johnny, if you don't mind.
Shout outs.
I wanted to say congratulations to Shane and Angela. We sold their 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo in North Palm Beach. I think we only took 12 days to sell that property.
Slacker.
I know. I
Jeez.
screwed up on that one really bad.
It's almost 2 full weeks.
I know. It's like, well,
In this market?
What's going on?
I was twiddling my thumbs for a little bit. So
Sat on it.
yeah.
Somebody
It's
spent
like-
time at the beach.
That's why I have that tan, right?
Yeah.
So Shane and Angela, this is the second deal or third deal I've done with them. This little condo was just a tiny one condo. It's like 720 square feet, but the location, it's right on the intercoastal. And when you walk to your unit every day, all you see is boats and intercoastal. And it had a really nice community pool. And the house was completely renovated about 5 years ago. Every square inch of the property was touched. And it's a boating community. So you have the ability to buy a dock or rent a dock if you live there, and the docks are available. This one didn't come with a dock. And I guess I don't mind saying this because I don't think they'll mind. So what do you think a 1-1 completely Mac Daddy fixed up on the water in North Palm Beach? What do you think price would be, Johnny?
500,000.
Right. What do you think, Ross? You're
I'm going to say 230.
Oh, he's so close. Ross, you're very
I
good.
would say
Ding, ding,
225,
ding.
230.
225. Did you look it up?
No.
Oh, because he has the MLS. So I thought Ross
No.
looked it up.
Well, my mom, the apartment or the condo that my mom lived in is right in that
Oh, it was right
same
in there.
neighborhood. So,
So she
or
must
in
have had
that
a good
area,
one too.
little 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but if
I
you go on just the other end of the the Riviera side of Singer Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of those condos are like 600K, aren't they?
Yeah. So I have one on the market right now that is on the market for $559. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit, completely fixed up just like this one. That one wasn't furnished. This one came furnished, including the plates and the dishes and the silverware. And that one, the North Palm Beach one, sold for $225.
Wow,
Right
that's great.
now, yeah, which is a great deal. Now, the one in Singer Island is about double the size because it's about 1,400 square feet versus 700 square feet. Completely fixed up. That one has a 30-foot boat. 25-foot boat dock that could fit a 23-foot boat in it, and that one's only at $559.
Is that Sugar
So,
Sands? Is that
Yeah,
the-
that's the one. in
isn't that a
Sugar Sands.
55
That's a
too?
50, and that's
Yeah,
a 55. And North Palm Beach is not 55 and over. And the other thing is, this property is rentable later. You can rent it out. So
Nice.
that's the really big benefit of it later
Wow,
on.
that's huge.
So first time home buyer bought it. She was so in love with it. Congratulations to her. And thank you, Shane and Angela, for trusting me again to get the deal done for you. It was funny when we went to the closing table, Angela and Shane, Angela's the mom, Shane's the son. They own a company called, I always say this wrong, Pest Smart. I have a lisp every time I say it, Pest Smart. They own a extermination pest control company. I think it's 2nd generation or 3rd generation Pest Smart. And Angela is the mom, Shane's the son. When we got to the closing table, I said, so how are you feeling about selling this? Because the reason why they kept it is just for a place to crash. They both have homes in Western Palm Beach County, but it was just some place to be near the water and have some drinks, on the east side. So they just use it just to crash once in a while. So Angela looked at me. She was beaming. I'm so happy we sold this thing. And Shane was like, not so much. Yeah. But Shane's going to get over it because he loves buying and selling real estate. So now he's got some money in his pocket. So he's going to be looking for something else. And he left a message for Nancy, my admin, saying, it was such a pleasure working with you guys. And thank you, Nancy, for all the communication you did. And we'll be working with you again. So I
Cool.
really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And spread the word. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Thank you, Johnny. The second shout out is going to be to Mike and Colleen. They're kind of some of my favorite kind of customers right now in a way, because Mike found us on YouTube and he lives in Scotia, New York.
Nice.
Okay. We've been talking to him for a couple years now, on and off, saying that he wants to, at the time he wanted to sell in New York and move down here, but now the things have in 2026. So I've been keeping in touch for a couple of years now. they called me up at the last minute and said, hey, we think the time is right to buy now. We want to buy right away. So I'm going to talk to you later about on the show about that. But thank you for trusting us. We had a really great conversation with the top agent in the area that they want to buy in. And we set them all up yesterday. And I think they're going to have really great results by Memorial Day weekend.
Nice.
I think we're going to be doing a success story. So thank you so much for trusting us. Mike and Colleen, I can't wait to find you your dream home in Florida.
Where are they moving?
They're moving to Orlando area. So they're going to be near the I-4 corridor. They want to be 30 minutes to 45 minutes outside of downtown Orlando. And they've already picked a bunch of new construction communities
I was
up
going to
there.
say, there's a ton of new construction.
Yeah.
Ton.
And that's what I zeroed in for them. And the reason why I did that is this is going to be like their forever home. They're retiring and they're moving down here. So just like with Jimmy, even though that, you're not at retirement age, but Jimmy, when he bought his new construction home, some of the benefits was super low insurance. Didn't have to worry about your roof or your AC or your water heater for at least 10 years, unless you got hit with the cane, right? So you're in really good shape, worrying about cost control for the future. And that's what they've decided to do. And I got them with a great agent, which we'll talk about later. And they're going to be really set up really well. Johnny, I love talking about creepy critter stories, right?
You do, yes.
So I've got a creepy critter story this week that's a little different than my other ones, but we're going to get into it. And this is alleged creepy critter.
All right,
Okay,
excellent.
It's alleged creepy critter.
877-927-6969. Of course, that's toll free. We are live on this. Today's the 3rd, yeah? Is it the 3rd?
May 3rd.
Yep. 3rd all day today, yes. Thanks for being with us. Of course, you're always welcome to join the program. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. If you'd like to be involved in the conversation at hand, do not be shy. Of course, if you're not comfortable on the radio, believe me, I understand. That's why I push you towards FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. When you need a team of pros, and you really need a team when you're buying a home or selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. These are pros in their field working cohesively together to get done what you're trying to get done right by you. And it happens a lot. Experience it for yourself. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. On Facebook and YouTube, Florida Talk Real Estate. It's .com.
Hey, just want to do a couple little shout outs before I get to Creepy Critter. Vince is a new person that's calling in because, or checking in because of Greg and Diane. I'll tell you about what they said on the Facebook, on the YouTube page in a little bit. Lisa, one of my favorite customers. I'm sorry we played phone tag so much. Lisa also is a seller buyer that had a great success story, just like Greg and Diane, about 3 weeks before Greg and Diane. And now they're up in Palm Bay. And I'll call you next week, Lisa, to talk to you again. Say hello to Kev. Go Dolphins. Francis, good morning. As always, she's such a regular on our show. You're one of our biggest fans. Thank you, Francis, for checking us out. So the alleged creepy critter this week is a man who's been going to open houses and then giving a reason to touch the open house realtor's feet. He has a foot fetish and he's going around touching realtor's feet. And this realtor put a...
Is it working?
Apparently it's happened a bunch of times.
Well, just for, scientific purposes, what's the reason he's giving?
Asking for a friend?
Well,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good one. I like that. Well, this lady in Tampa, a realtor in Tampa, and I feel really bad for her, so I'm not making fun of you. And thank God you're safe because this can be serious. But I'm kind of being a little light on it. But it is it can be very serious.
Yeah, it's light to us because we're not the one that had our feet molested.
Exactly. It would be kind of creepy. So that's why.
Although she's responsible here too, because she did go here's my feet.
Well, no, that isn't what happened with her. What happened with her? Good question, Johnny. So what happened with her is she was outside. He was there for the open house, and they were standing outside, and he said that she had a bug crawling up her leg, and so she jumped right away, and she was like smacking her leg to see if she can get the thing off. And he goes, no, now it's gone in between your foot and your shoe or something. So he said, let me help you. And he basically took the shoe off and started caressing her foot. And she got creeped out. And she put it on social media. And then like a couple other agents said, that happened to me in Tampa too. It must be the same guy.
The old bug crawling on your leg trick.
Yeah.
I've used that many times. I've used that many times.
It works too.
Yeah,
right?
it works.
Yeah, it's a great pickup line. Hey, you got an ant on your foot.
Oh no,
So-
I think it went down your shirt.
Yeah,
We should take that off
exactly.
quick.
So creepy
What
critter,
the-
not a good creepy critter at all, and alleged creepy critter right now. So
That's super creepy.
mhm.
And he
very creepy.
targets open houses.
Apparently that's what he's doing in Tampa.
Oof.
Now I'm sure. Now
So
here's the-
ladies, make sure you wear your full New Balances.
yeah, I know, right? Well,
Be wearing
here's
those
the,
high heels.
here's the thing that happened actually to the open house at 5 Danby Place in Boynton Beach that Shauna Tran is going to do today from 1 to 3. The last time we did the open house over there was about 2 weeks ago, and Chris Peterson on my team and another agent were there to handle the open house, Haley. And we had about 8 people come into the house, and this really gets me mad.
When they
The-
come in and look at the house.
They want to come in and look at the house, but they don't want to give you any of their information.
Oh, okay.
So they won't give you their name. They won't give you anything, but they think they have the right to walk into the house. And my attitude is, and I'm sorry, but my attitude is if I don't know who you are, you're not walking into my customer's house, right? Now, if you're with an agent, that's a little different. I'm not going to ask you your name. I'm going to ask for the agent's information. But if you're just coming in, I need to know who you are in case something like this happens. So one of the things that was popping my head, I don't know if this realtor actually got the person's information or not, before she's showing in the backyard. And a lot of agents do not do that. And if the buyer says they don't want to give the information, most agents aren't going to say, well, I'm sorry, I can't let you in, but until you meet me. Because I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I can't let you in. I'm a former crime reporter. They could be casing out your place to figure out, hey, is this place vacant or not? Maybe I can come in and take all the appliances when everybody's gone.
Right.
What kind of lockbox is on it? Is a super lockbox or one of those ABC 1, 2, 3, Home Depot cheap lockboxes? They might be scoping my customers out. So you really need to make sure that your realtor is keeping your property safe. And the realtors need to be safe too. So they need that information in case, God forbid, something bad happens.
Yeah.
Because being a former crime reporter, what I was wondering is, how does this realtor and the other victims know that it's the same guy unless they grabbed information or got a picture or something?
Yeah, picture
Right.
most importantly.
Yeah.
Because every time I go to case someplace out and they ask my ID, I'm like, I'm Mike Rao, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I put it. Too.
Yep. And it's Rao, Rauch, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you spell
I'll
it.
be on the radio
Pronounce
next
it.
Saturday. Yeah.
So anyway, that's my creepy critter story for the week. Wanted to on the flip side, we're going to do something that we haven't done in a very long time. We have very special guests here, Greg and Diane. They came to me in January to sell their home and buy a new home, and they really made a decision that now is the time, and they wanted to make sure that it's a little stressful doing that, and we're going to get into the whole thing of the seller buyer and how we structured everything for them and what their experience is when they went through the process, and any teachable moments for other people that through their eyes that can tell them through the consumer's point of view what they would do differently or the same in that situation. I'm really excited to have that conversation on the flip side.
Excellent. That sounds great. And yeah, I'm guessing there are a bunch of people that are very intrigued by these details because I would think that most people that are considering of making a purchase anytime soon, like me and my family, are going to have to deal with a sale of some property first, be that seller buyer. I very much am on that train. And if you are too, great information coming your way. Of course, we're going to have a lot more to get into. Always remember, Florida Talk Real Estate is a .com, your one-stop real estate shop. Pros, experts in their fields working cohesively together. You can experience it all by going to floridatalkrealestate.com. If you're on Facebook, find them on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate. On YouTube, we got a home of a ton of informational chunk videos. That's Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube. Plus, we live stream on both platforms every Saturday. You can join us. If you're not quite there yet, that's all right. You can always join later, or it's there for later viewing pleasure. But just remember, floridatalkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros at floridatalkrealestate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. It's Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1. Here's Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting the chance for a spotty shower through the remainder of the day. However, that chance mostly remains west of 95. Temperatures this afternoon will be in the mid and a few areas in the upper 80s. Overnight, we'll see a nice cool down under a mostly clear sky. And tomorrow, more showers will be reported.
This report is sponsored by Stand Up to Cancer.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
Real Radio 92.1. We are an iHeart radio station. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, welcome back. It's Saturday and Saturday morning on Real Radio. That means thanks for carving out some time for Florida Talk Real Estate. 2 hours of infotainment. That's what we serve up. Thanks for being there to consume it. Johnny C, well, that's me. Of course, our producer extraordinaire, that's Jimothy.
Good morning.
What's up, my dude?
Doing good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you. If you dial up at 877-927-6969 with questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate, you want to get involved with the conversation at hand, Jimothy will be the one to line you up there.
Yeah.
We'll get
Hello.
Hey.
There. Oh,
Yep.
look at that. There's a line
Nice.
that's open. There's
That
a
works.
line that's open right there
That
too.
works.
Got a couple of them here, so
Oh, nice.
fill them up.
All of them seem to be working today, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about that?
somebody paid the bill.
Well,
Thanks, Greek.
maybe.
It's always good to have you with us. Ross Komarinetz is with us on this Saturday. He's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
Juno, that's right.
It was a pleasure, my friend.
Always.
And Jimmy D's here. He's our fearless leader. I've told you for 13 plus year now. He runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team. Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. Jim DePola, how you be?
Hey, happy South Florida, everybody. I'm so happy to be here today and to share real estate stories with you.
Yeah, like the story of Greg and Diane.
That's correct.
If you're
I heard
joining
that
us
one.
on Facebook or YouTube, we do live stream on both platforms every Saturday. You're like, who are they? Well, it should say right below there, Greg and Diane, seller buyers. Is that what it says?
Seller buyers.
Nice.
That's correct. Say it fast, Johnny. Seller buyer.
Seller buyer.
Yep.
Seller buyer. And Greg's like some of our favorite people because he's like he's got that real radio DNA.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so he's like family. It's like instant family.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is
And
just
Diane's like awesome too, just by the way.
exactly. And I'm going to ask Diane a question about that because there's a very common thing that happens when a husband and wife ask me to come.
How
to
did
their
you
house.
like listening to Love Doctors?
Who? So I'm really excited to have Greg and Diane on the show today. They are seller buyers, Johnny. We have talked about them. What do you call it when they're not around when you talk about them? But we've not behind their back, but you know what I mean? Like when they're not present. We've talked about them on the show a couple of times about a couple of things. And now we have the end results. So we're going to show exactly how it all happened and kind of peel away the onion, if you will, or what is it? The artichoke, where you peel it away and you try to find out what's inside.
That's an interesting reference.
So I know, right?
The artichoke one? Yeah.
Well,
I think
speaking-
onion's probably more universal.
So I wanted to start off with a little intro, and then we're going to go into a timeline. Here's a little ditty about Jack and Diane. Actually, Greg and Diane. Here's a little ditty about Greg and Diane living in Coral Springs and looking for the promised land. Found their dream home in Boynton Beach. Now their life is like eating peaches and cream. So Greg came to us in January of this year saying that it was time for him to sell his house and buy a new home. And he wanted to, in my notes that I took when he called me, it was like January 8th, actually. He said that he wanted to sell his home in Coral Springs. He had a large 3,000, he and Diane have a large 3,000 square foot home in Coral Springs, and they wanted to downsize and move to Palm Beach County, Central Palm Beach County, somewhere to be closer to their kids and everything and their grandkids, correct? Cool. That's what you guys are trying to accomplish. Am I wrong about that?
We moved further from our grandkids, which is the only.
Oh, I thought they lived in
no,
Boynton.
but they're still a half hour away.
Oh yeah, it's still close. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, but
So the opposite, Jim. They wanted to get further away.
Yeah, they wanted to get away from the grandkids. Sorry
Yeah,
about
they're like,
that.
oh man, can we get a little further away? I like to see them all.
I know that's not true, but we
cried.
want to make fun of you.
Welcome to the show. Aren't you glad you
Welcome to
came?
the show, yeah. yeah, exactly. So no, they're great grandparents because I know they take care of their babysit their grandchild all the time, their granddaughter all the time for the kids.
I was going to say, you guys are great grandparents already. You are not that old yet.
And that's true. I said great grandparents. I made it that way. And then
There's a certain image for great
yeah,
grandparents. you
they're
know?
really good
They're in their
grandparents.
90s.
But so you guys were basically trying to downsize, right? And getting ready for the future, right? It was time to retire and get set up for your next chapter in your life, the fun chapter of your life, right? So we met on. You called us on January 8th, and you told us what we were trying to get accomplished. And then I'm just going to give a timeline of what happened from start to finish, and then we'll get into it. So then we met on January 17th, and we did a lot that day. I think I was there 2.5 hours or something, which is a normal process for a seller buyer because there's so much going on. We got to figure out not just selling the house, but how, what is it going to look like when you buy something and making sure it all works. So when I meet with the seller buyer, the first thing we do is review the home review the house, look at the condition of the house, find out about the upgrades, and discuss staging situations, which we're going to talk a little bit about later with you guys. And then we then we look at the comps, and then based on the comps, we set a price. It's very important. Pricing is very important when you're a seller buyer. And then we do what's called a seller net sheet. And that is a calculation to determine if the house sells at the price that we're predicting, how much money will they have in their pocket? And this is very important for a seller buyer is because they're counting on that money to buy the new home. And if they don't get the money that they're budgeting, they might screw everything up on the back end. And you don't want that to happen. Yeah. Then what we did is a quick view of the properties that they were thinking about, what they were searching for before we met on the 17th. So they showed me some of the properties that they liked, and they gave me a breakdown of the type of properties they were looking for. We did a quick search that day just to see what was going on, to get a flavor if it was going to be hard or not to find a home for them. And then finally, and this is probably one of the most important parts of the meeting on January 17th, was understanding the contractual parts of the contract to make sure that you're protected both on the sale side and the buy side, so that if something goes wrong with one of those transactions, you're not stuck. And here's where the chicken and the egg comes in. How am I supposed to put my house on the market if I don't know what I'm going to buy? So I'll just go out and go find a house first. But if you need the money from the sale of your home and you find the home, most sellers are not going to go into contract with you unless you're already at least in contract, and usually even a little farther along than that. So it becomes the chicken and the egg. I don't want to sell my home because I don't know where I'm going to live, and I don't know where I'm going to live, so I don't want to put my home on the market, right? So that becomes very stressful, right, guys?
Very.
Right.
Okay.
It was very stressful.
So we had to go over that whole contractual part, and that's probably the biggest stumbling block for most people of trying to get their head around how am I going to get this accomplished. So then what happened was on January 28th, so it took about 11 days from the day that we met to get the photos taken. And then on February 6th, we put the house on the market. Why did we put it on the market on that date? Because it was a Thursday. And we always put our houses on the market Thursday unless the seller tells us not to. Why did we put it on the market Thursday, Johnny? Do you remember?
I do. Yeah. Has something to do with I don't.
So the reason why we put the house on the market Thursdays, and I've been doing this for like 12 years now, is I read these studies from the National Association of Realtors that when you put your house on the market on Thursdays,
Yeah.
I didn't know, that your house usually sells a little faster, you get a little bit more money, a higher sale price, and it takes a little less time to sell the home. So we always kind of go with the statistics. I have theories on why that happens like that. So we put the house on the market on February 6th. February 10th, we started looking at properties for you guys, right? We started looking. We didn't really find anything the first one or two times we went out. February 14th, we put the house on the market on the 6th. February 14th, boom, Coral Springs house is under contract, right? Which is really exciting. We had a really good buyer because they were cash. But we were having a glitch with them because they weren't giving us enough time to make Greg and Diane feel comfortable to find their new home. And they felt like they were going to be trapped to maybe sell their home without having a new home to buy. And they were very concerned about that.
So this cash buyer wanted a quick close or a normal close?
They wanted a quick to normal close, but then allow them to stay in the house until they found their new home. But that got Greg and Diane very concerned because what happens if they didn't find the home they wanted?
Mm-hmm.
They would have felt pressured to buy anything.
Yeah, nobody wants
just
that.
to get out. And they didn't want to do that. So we went back and forth for a few days, but the offer was really good. The number was very good. Then what happened is the very next day we went out to look for their house. No, the day that we went to look at the home that they ended up buying, that's when we got the contract for their home. And then the next day we went into contract for the home they wanted to buy.
Oh, that's perfect.
So then once we knew that, then we can negotiate with the buyer side in order to negotiate better terms. And then I'm almost done. And then we're going to ask Greg and Diane a bunch of questions. So then on the 17th, we had the inspection for the Coral Springs home they were selling. And then on the 20th, we had the inspection for the house they were buying. And then on April 7th, we closed both properties. We closed in the morning on the Coral Springs home. And then later that afternoon, they closed with the money from the Coral Springs home to buy their home in Boynton Beach, which also was a cash purchase.
What an exhausting emotional day that must have been.
And then they had to move. Don't forget, they had to move that day too.
Oh.
So it was crazy town. It was
You
crazy
slept
town.
like champs that night.
Oh,
Oh,
do you mind if I tell you? I got a picture, Johnny, the night before, a couple nights before closing, and it is a picture of 2 camping chairs and an air mattress, and they go, "This is the furniture in our house now." And how long did you guys live like that?
A week and a half.
A week
2
and a
weeks,
half.
yeah.
2 folding camping chairs and an air mattress, and that's what they had, right?
What else do you need?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you had hot water?
Yes.
You had air conditioning?
You did. Yeah, we're good.
I forgot to tell you,
Everything
Ross
else
is a
is-
minimalist.
Everything
That's
else is
true.
just fluff.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should have been there, Ross. You were welcome.
kind of was in spirit.
Next time I'll bring my own air mattress.
Yeah, there he goes.
And camping chair.
And Ross was involved in this transaction too. Unfortunately, Mike wasn't because it was all cash deals, but Ross was there for the insurance agent to get you the insurance on the new home, which had a brand new roof. Wasn't the roof
Yes.
brand new?
Yes.
Love
December.
it, love it. So that's the whole process. They called us on January 8th and April 7th. They're in their new home, right? It was just like that. Now, there could have been a lot of things that could have really screwed up both those deals. It could have got very complicated, but there was a lot of communication, and we had to do a lot of strategizing with both deals in order to make sure we were protected. So the first thing I wanted to ask you guys is, what was it? Why did you decide to make the move right now? Because I looked at my notes, and I guess back in 2022 or 2023, you originally reached out and then decided not to do anything at that time, which is very common. But why was 2025 the year?
Well, I'll take this. So really one of the key, when I originally reached out to you, it was, we were thinking about retirement at age, 65, all right, or so. And so we're at that point talking about maybe a Vero Beach move or something like that. But late last year, a couple things happened, but late last year, my company merged with another company and my position was eliminated. So I was like, why wait to downsize, right? We know we're going to be saving a lot of money. So if we could downsize and pay off and pay off the home, have no mortgage, that would be ideal. And so we decided, why wait? Let's just do it now. Let's pull the trigger now. And that's why we reached out to you in January.
Yeah. And so all this talk about people saying it's a really bad, it's so funny right now, Johnny.
Can I just interject real
yes.
quick? So all the things that happen in life dictate to your reasoning, right?
Right.
I feel weird saying this. I'm almost glad that your merger happened to force you, because who knows what our market looks like if you wait until you feel like now is the time. I think almost being forced to do it might have been a wonderful, just ray of sunshine on you to be like, here, do this.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because we've talked about that a lot, John.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot, how, everything happens for a reason, right?
I like to think in a weird way. Yeah.
It was silver lining. I mean, we were able to downsize, got the perfect home, the home we wanted, and no mortgage. So it's
beautiful.
Worked out really well.
Yeah. And on top of that, too, when you were talking about, meeting with us with the net sheet and everything, I mean, you were right on target. I mean, it couldn't have been, there was no surprises of closing costs extra and everything. I mean, it was within pennies,
close, right?
Within pennies of what I expect. I'm the finance one. So, I was looking at the numbers and you were really good.
I appreciate that, Diane. And that's one of the things I want to ask you specifically, because this happens to me so much. So usually it's the guy that if it's a married couple, it's usually the guy that calls you up and says, hey, I want you to come over and take a look at my house or whatever. I want to sell, I want to buy. And then you get there and then the spouse is there. Usually the spouse has their arms crossed and they've usually got pursed lips, right? And they're sitting there and they're looking at me. He's like, why is my crazy husband bringing this radio guy in to do something with our house? How did you feel when Greg says, hey, I'd like to bring this guy over I've been listening to from the radio show? How did you feel about, and really how you felt?
No, I was fine with it because actually I used to listen, not to the whole show like
Oh,
Greg
okay, I
would,
didn't-
but I would listen to you and, and Greg thought so much of you. So, from when he had knew more. So I was fine.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because usually people are sitting there and they're like, I can't believe this guy's here. And then I have to confront that, and I just ask the spouse, hey, do you have any idea who I am? And if they don't, then I really focus the meeting to them, because the caller, or the fan, if you will, they already have heard me say this a million times over. You know what I mean? Usually they hear, because what I say, and Johnny knows this when he worked for me at the time, what I say on the air is what happens in real life, right?
Mhm.
There's no glitz and glamour of the radio show, and there's a bait and switch with me.
Yeah, and that was kind of the setup for the show over 13 years ago.
Yes.
Is you guys got to deliver like you say deliver, or I can't be a part of your show. Like I can't. It has to be what you say it's going to be, and then I can be a part of it. If it's not, find someone else. And they deliver pretty much across the board, which is excellent.
Yeah, and I've been listening for years, and that's one of the things that, and when we first started talking, that's when I think Diane started listening to the show too. So I kind of pulled her in. She's like, "Who is this Jim guy?" And that, and she started listening and really became a fan. But just hearing all the people that you've helped and call in, and hearing the positive confirmation, that you're doing the right thing, and so that's obviously what helped us make the decision to just give you a call when it was time.
And one of the things you said, Diane, too, is knowing your numbers, knowing what those closing costs are, how important that was for the whole transaction, and knowing what you're going to do. And it falls back to that saying that we say it, because I had the same process too. I mean, my situation worked out a little bit different, where I was able to stay in our home until our new house was built. So that was just a way that Jim was able to negotiate with the buyer. That's how it worked out for us. That's why every buyer, seller, and every transaction is always, like Johnny says, a snowflake. It all, but there are certain aspects that do apply each time. And one of them is know your numbers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot we had the caller on. So do you mind if we just take the caller and we'll come right back to this?
Sure.
Okay.
If you'd like
I'm
to.
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
you want to
yeah.
do that? Okay, well, Patrick called in, and Patrick is selling his parents' house,
Okay.
and it's a little dated, and he had some questions about that. Patrick, welcome to Florida Talk Real Estate.
Yes, good morning, fellas. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm in the car.
No, you sound great, Patrick. Thank you.
Yeah, you sound really good. Thanks for your patience.
Good. Okay, good morning. My folks, they're in their 90s, so they are now in an assisted living situation, and my brother and I are selling their home. It's located in town of Tamarack, down in Broward County. It's one of those Leisureville type homes, stucco homes, one floor, old time Florida homes.
Yep.
But walking into it, it's kind of like walking into the 1970s. They haven't remodeled bathrooms. They haven't remodeled kitchen, the pink tub and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that the realtors bring in to take a look at it, and this has been going on since Christmas time, believe it or not, they all say that the asking price is semi-okay, but they want a big, huge credit because of their future expense to remodel the home, to bring it up to current styles. Is that typically the way it's going? It goes with...
How many showings have you gotten since December, Patrick? Roughly.
Oh.
Like 20, 30, 10, 5?
A dozen.
A dozen? Okay, a dozen over 4 months. So you're only getting like one showing a week. You're only getting one showing a week. It is very slow right now, okay? But one showing a week is kind of weak, if you will. And 2 to 3 showings a week, hopefully, that isn't like on fire, but it's a steady stream of people coming to look, and you're just waiting for the right one. So the two things I'm hearing is, number one, you're not getting that many showings for as long as it's been on the market, which is definitely a price versus condition issue, which we're going to talk about with Greg and Diane, because we had some things to be concerned about when we were putting their house on the market to get it sold. We didn't want to be overpriced. Here's the thing, Patrick, in today's market, the buyers are very picky. They have a lot of choices.
Right.
So if you're not priced where the buyer, not you, but the buyer sees value in the property at the price that you're asking, they're not even going to come to the house. And if they do, they're not going to make an offer if they think that you're overpriced. And when I say overpriced, I remember talking to somebody just a couple of days ago, one of the customers, and we were talking about a $10,000 price differential between what we were going to list it on. And they were like, really? $10,000 makes that much difference? And I'm like, yes, it can. And you're better off being 10,000 lower and being wrong and having multiple buyers than being $10,000 over what it's really worth, and then nobody comes, right?
Yeah,
so
we have lowered the asking price by about 25,000.
that's pretty significant, because I know that area. I grew up in Sunrise. Okay, so I know that area really, really well. I went to Piper High School, all of that, so I know that area very well. So a $25,000 price drop is significant. It sounds like to me, though, that your realtor really didn't crunch the numbers the way that, let's say, I would crunch the numbers to get you the results that you wanted. Like if you told me you wanted to explore the market and try to push the price point, I would work with you on that. But at a certain point, I would say, hey, Patrick, this isn't working. And we've got to do something before it gets too long in the teeth. And we need to, or too long in the tooth, and adjust the price and be proactive on this. My recommendation to you would be go back to your realtor, ask them for full comps. What is full comps? Not the realtor showing, here's 3 active, 3 pending, 3 sold. This is what I think your house is worth. What you want to do is go into that community. You want every home sold. You don't care if it's 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. You want a list of all the homes sold in the last 6 months. All the pendings, all the active. You want all the canceled, all the expired, and you also want expired, canceled, or withdrawn. Why do you want those in the last 6 months? You want to know if everybody's given up and just taking their house off the market, because you might be basing your price based on houses that are never going to sell, and then you're completely off. You're off track. That's how I would handle it if I were you. I would not fix the house up. I would not fix it up.
No, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And luckily, my folks are where they handle their money well, and it's not like they need it to stay where they are now.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be a really nice addition, cash-wise, to their savings account to keep them comfortable.
Yes. So,
So we definitely don't want to remodel it ourselves.
Yeah. So it's all about price then. Right? It's price versus condition of the home. And you really got to look at the other homes that sold at your price point that you're asking right now and compare your house to that house. How old is that roof compared to your roof? Do you have impact windows or accordion shutters or anything and they don't, or vice versa? Do they have a new kitchen, new flooring, new paint, and you don't, and you're at the same price? Well, then you're at the wrong price. And you really got to look at your competition and see where you stand with your competition and be brutal about that. Don't play games. Don't play mind games with yourself, because the mind games in today's market, you're not going to win that game. In COVID, you could win. You could go way above and people would probably still come to you, but not in today's market. Price is everything in today's market. Johnny?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, best of luck to you. We'd love an update. If you got any other questions or you need any members of the team, remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's access to the entire team. And of course, you don't have to use the entire team. You can pick your professional that's needed at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We appreciate you being out there. Any other questions?
No, good to go. Thanks, fellas.
You have a great rest of your weekend. We got one more caller there, Jimothy?
We do. We have Pepe on the line. He wants to talk about roofs. Pepe, welcome to the show. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, guys. Listen, Jim DePola, Frank Pepe.
Oh, Frank,
yeah. For you.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good.
Listen, I'm going through this roof thing right now. Hey, I got a couple questions for you. I've decided to go with a claims adjuster. Was that a good move or a bad move?
Okay, so we got Ross
on the roof.
Right, we have Ross Komarinetz here from Brightway Insurance, Frank. So this is the perfect time to take this call.
But before I go to that point, let me ask you this. I looked this thing up. I've been talking to people. I looked this thing up on the internet the other day, and now it says it's 15 years that you got to put a new roof on. Is that right? What's going on with this?
Ross, I never
No.
heard anything about that, right?
I mean, there's no regulation that says you have to replace your roof after a certain amount of years.
It's all going to be a carrier to carrier.
Carrier to carrier.
Right.
And as long as you got 5 years of useful life left, you're good to go.
Yeah, as long as you have 5 years useful life, you always can get citizens insurance, right, Ross? So right, as far as it stands right now.
For the most part.
Yeah, if we're talking about roof only.
Yeah, I mean, if your roof, if you have a shingle roof that's 25 years old, yeah, your only option is going to be, if it would have to have 5 years of life left, and at that point, your only option is going to be citizens.
Frank's a little on edge because he just found out recently that the water system in the community he lived in damaged the piping for the supply lines, and he had to rip out all the supply lines and put them back in again.
Jeez.
And so he's already gone through that. Now he's got to deal with the roof. So he's kind of, he's going through stuff, and he's not like he's on a set income right now. So these are all like real, right? Like a lot of people.
Yep.
So he wants to make sure he's trying to save as much money he can. He did take care of the piping, but there shouldn't be any concern, according to what Ross is saying, Frank, as far as the rules changing about the useful life of the roof and things like that.
Well, I can tell you this, is that my subdivision has 62 homes and every roof is being replaced.
Well,
I've talked to the homeowners association. I've talked to everybody's replacing their roof. About half of them are already been done. And the homes are all built in 2003, 2004. That's when they were built. And so it's 20 years and everybody's having to take their roof off.
That's pretty normal.
And it's probably
20
the time to
years
do it.
ago.
I bet you get a little bit of a break price if you're doing all the roofs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, even pre the madness, typically it was 20 years for like the most a carrier would give you 20 years on a shingle roof.
Yeah.
But every carrier, some carriers were 18 and some carriers were always 15.
I hear Frank saying no, and what he's talking.
No. Wait. I was in the construction business my whole life. I was a superintendent project manager. There was never the roofs were guaranteed.
You're not, but Frank, what
you're
this
talking
is
about,
like right. He's talking about warranty versus insurance, and that's two completely different things, Frank. So one is the manufacturer saying we're guaranteeing your roof, for product failure for 30 years. That doesn't mean the insurance company is going to agree with that, and they have a different criteria. So it's like it's almost like a Don Quixote. Trying to tilt the windmill, trying to argue that because the insurance companies are going to give you what they think that roof is good for.
I mean,
and
the
then you
flip
get
side
to
is-
test it, and then you get to test it,
Take the roof out of it.
right?
PEX plumbing is awesome, right? People use PEX all the time in construction.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of insurance companies don't like it
Right.
and won't accept it.
Right.
And won't insure it.
So that's what you have to understand, Frank. It isn't the actual warranty on the roof itself. It's how long the insurance companies are going to give you for that type of roof and the condition it is when you go to renew.
But can I ask you this question seriously? And I mean this. I understand what you're saying. I understand the whole thing. But I had never, and seriously, I'm 72 years old. I never heard of you having to rip off a roof after 20 years. My whole life that I've lived in Florida, up until the last year or two.
No, this has been going on now. This has been going on since our show.
Yeah. I mean, going pre the madness, 20 years for a shingle roof, that was the max carriers would give you. And I mean, I can tell you even back then, seeing a roof older than 20, very rarely did we see a roof older than 20 years, five years ago, 6, 7, 10 years ago. So, and I mean, it's not like they just started building the houses.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but like the roof age has become such a big deal. But I mean, again, 5 years ago, 20 years was the max. And now a lot of carriers are still getting close to that 20 years. So, I mean, things have definitely gotten
Yeah,
so
they're
much
turning
better.
around a little bit,
Yeah.
which we talked about the last week on the show, is that things were getting better. So, I mean, it's not great. Don't get me wrong. My sister, when I told her that, she gave me the dirtiest look. And you know what I mean? Because she goes, "It's not getting better," but it is. It is getting. It's starting to slow down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll have to listen to what you're saying, but I'm serious. I've lived in Florida for 46 years. I never heard of roofs having been ripped off after 20 years.
Nobody's making. I mean, again, nobody's requiring anybody to replace their roof. As long as your roof has at least 5 years of useful life, you're good.
Right.
So there's nobody out there that's going around and telling people that you have to replace your roof.
So, in other words, if you let me get this straight. If I go and buy a house tomorrow that's 33 years old, has a shingle roof, there's no requirement to take that off. You insure.
As long as it has 5 years of useful life left.
There's a test that you do, or an inspection that you do, Frank, to determine the useful life. An inspector comes out and they use certain criteria depending upon the roof, right? Like if you got barrel tile, they got to check uplift of the tiles moving. The shingles, they're looking for granulation loss and things like that, and shrinking of the tabs. And they do all that stuff, and they check out the fascia and the sheathing to make sure it's not soft and how it's strapped in, and all that.
Are the shingles lifting?
Right. And then that's how they determine whether or not you need to replace the roof or not. It isn't just the age of the roof, it's the condition of the roof.
Because I've seen a 10-year-old roof that's in horrible shape.
Right. And I just did one. We did one right before Greg and Diane where the roof was 22 years old, but it was barrel tile and it still had 8 years useful life. So no big problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's frustrating you, Frank. The other thing I would say to you, Frank, if you haven't done it, is maybe you should take advantage of one of those state programs and try to get the discount. I don't know if you're doing that, but you should do the hard home.
The My Safe Florida Home program.
Yeah, the My Safe Florida Home program. It'll save you some money, Frank.
It's not open right now. It's not open.
Yeah, that's
I think are they accepting applications or not? Like, are you getting put in the back of a line at all? I don't know.
No, you can't apply.
You can't even apply right now. Okay, that sucks. Well, Frank, we got another call, and I got to get back to Greg and Diane. If you need me, you know we always talk off the air, so you can give me a call at any time. But thank you for calling.
Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you, bud. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That's access to the entire team. Of course, on Facebook and YouTube, remember Florida Talk Real Estate, but FloridaTalkRealEstate.com for the entire team. Who do we got next there?
Peter, which you were expecting that phone call 10, Jim?
Yes.
Do you want to set that up?
So we're running a little late, so I'm sorry about that.
You want to go to break and then do Peter? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do a break, and we're going to, Peter, I hope Peter, can you ask Peter if he could hold for 3 or 4 minutes?
He's hearing you.
Hey, Peter, can you hold 4 minutes?
He's not on the, no, he is.
You go 4 minutes? Okay, awesome. On the flip side, we're going to talk to Greg and Diane and their mover, Peter Jelenik from Bald Eagle Moving, and we're going to talk about, the results of that part of the process. And then we're going to get into the sale and purchase of their home for the rest of the hour.
Cool. Lots to get into still remaining on a Saturday, May 3rd. Thanks for being with us. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com is a remarkable resource of pros, experts in their fields. They work cohesively together. When you're buying a home, you're selling a home, you're stuck with a home, you don't know what to do. You need professionals. There's lots of people that are good at what they do. I recommend highly picking the people that are great at what they do when you can. You might have friends and family that are in the field, and they might be amazing people. I have people that I love dearly. Facts are they're just not great at what they do for a living. Hey, sometimes reality is hard to deal with. Go to people that are great at what they do. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. We're back in 4 minutes. Great to have you with us every Saturday. Florida Talk Real Estate, right here. It's Real Radio.
Introducing the latest way to hear the greatest station in the world. Tell your smart device to play Real Radio 92.1 on iHeartRadio. Real Radio weather.
I'm CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Carl. We are expecting the chance for a spotty shower through the remainder of the day. However, that chance mostly remains west of 95. Temperatures this afternoon will be in the mid and a few areas in the upper 80s. Overnight, we'll see a nice cool down under a mostly clear sky. And then tomorrow, more showers will be in the forecast.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title, that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Komarinetz, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowners insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation, because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeart radio station.
Make us the #1 preset on your car radio and on the free new and improved iHeart Radio app. Listen for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. This is Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
Yeah, that's it. 877-927-6969. That's toll free. Dial in. Questions, comments, concerns on the world of real estate. Get involved with the conversation at hand. The first voice you'll hear, there's our producer extraordinaire, Jimothy. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning. Happy Saturday.
Well, happy Saturday is right. We got about 45 minutes remaining on this Saturday for you, May 3rd. Thanks for being with us always, whether you're on the old radio, on your iHeart Radio app, maybe you're streaming with us on Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page or the YouTube page as well. Thanks for choosing to be a part of the Florida Talk Real Estate experience on a Saturday. I'm Johnny C, your air traffic control, your old buddy, your pal. There's Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. What's up, Ross?
Not a whole lot. Looking forward to this wonderful Saturday. Get outside a little bit.
It's going to be good, huh?
I hope so.
Little spotty rain here and there, but I never bitch about rain unless it's constant.
We didn't have a lot of April showers to bring any May flowers, so we need a little bit.
We do. We definitely do. Did April go by like the fastest it ever has?
I feel like everything is going by so fast.
Yeah,
It's flying.
Time is relative. I understand that. The older I get, the faster it goes. I get it. But man, I can't believe it's already May 3rd. It is unreal.
Yeah, tomorrow's going to be May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And also with you.
Thank you. There's our fearless leader, y'all. 13 plus years now. He's been running top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Jim DePola. Jimmy D, how you be?
Hey, I'm doing good, Johnny. Since we're talking about May stuff, my sister's birthday, Christine, is May 5th. So happy birthday, Chris. She's out there running around in River Ranch and on US I-60, Highway 60.
Nice.
Is it like a dude ranch? Is that what they call it?
It's kind of a camping. They have trailers there, mobile homes, all kinds of things to do for the kids. Petting zoo. Yeah,
they're up there right
it's
now.
A lot of fun. It's a great place to go. It's a
I've
little
always
pricey.
wanted to go.
And
Yeah, I've
what-
heard once you get there, it's like they start banging you for a little. It gets a little. You better bring 2 wallets.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You know what I
That's
love
what I've
about
heard.
River Ranch?
I've always wanted to go.
You know what I love about it? It's like it's kind of like divided. So you have like that side, right?
The
As
haves
they're
and the
talking about,
have-nots.
right? And then there's like the property owners, and the property owners like kind of view all the others as like, you're not real River Ranch.
Well, I mean, I'm
my
definitely
God.
not real.
That's funny. Yeah, my sister, because she was born May 5th, when she was much, much younger, she just thought everybody was celebrating her birthday all the time to get to buy them. It's like, yeah. Like everybody's into my birthday.
When you mention birthdays, I doubt he's listening, but big birthday shout out to Klepto. If you're a long time Real Radio listener,
Klepto.
yeah, Klepto, who used to be in promotions and engineering with us for a long time, he's celebrating a birthday today. He was always a day after Franny.
Yeah, Franny's was yesterday.
Franny's was yesterday.
I'm guessing with that name, he probably can't listen because he's in jail.
I know, right?
If you hadn't heard from him for a while, he's probably because he's doing a stretch at 10 to 15.
He might be for a lighter theft.
So, Johnny, we got that open house today.
Yes, we do. Starting at 1:00 today, right?
5 Danby Place. That's DANBY, Danby Place in Boynton Beach and Boynton Lakes North. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath, single-family home. Under 500,000, low HOA, and Shauna Tran from Keller Williams Innovations is going to be there today from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. So please, if you're looking for a house and you're on a budget, this is going to be a great opportunity for you. It's got a brand new roof, guys. It's brand new. You don't have to worry about insurance for a very long time.
At least 14 years.
So, yeah, exactly, right? So please go out there and support Shauna and support your home buying experience by going out there and checking that house out because it's a good deal.
Again, details, Florida Talk Real Estate Facebook page if you're interested.
Thank you. 1 to 3 today. We have a caller on the air, right, Johnny?
We do, yeah. So we got Greg and Diane in studio with us. If you are looking on the stream, you see those faces on there. Yeah, they are very happy customers of the Florida Talk Real Estate team. Seller buyers. Sold their home, bought a home. They did that delicate dance with Jim and the team. We're getting some details on their experience. Very happy new homeowners. And I guess we have their mover on hold, Jim.
We do. It's Peter Jelenic from Bald Eagle Moving.
Peter, thanks for your patience. Welcome. You're on Florida Talk Real Estate. How are you this morning?
You couldn't fit the air mattress in the 2 camping chairs in the back of the car?
Yeah, Peter, was it a very fast move? Did you use a truck or you just used a Nissan Altima? Just throw it all in the back seat.
There's a lot of boxes.
One of our 26-foot trucks.
I'm sorry?
We use one of our 26-foot trucks.
Oh, 26-foot trucks? Yeah. Right. So what happened, one of the problems when you're trying to sell a home and buy a home is logistically, sometimes it becomes very difficult to get the buyer to the mover to work with that short time frame. So they were Greg and Diane were looking for a mover. So we recommended that they call Peter to see, at least get a quote and see what he says. And what was your experience of working with Bald Eagle Moving?
Yeah. Hey, Peter, it's Greg and Diane. Our experience was fantastic. I mean, Peter, couldn't have been better. His communication is fantastic. But the main thing with the whole buyer seller was, we had to have them load up like on a Sunday and then not deliver until after the closing. The closing was Monday and then deliver on Tuesday. So Peter was, no problem. Everything with Peter was a no problem. He brought us boxes and wardrobes and everything we needed for the move ahead of time. We did our own packing, but Peter's team was just phenomenal. Mm-hmm. These guys were the best both of us have ever seen. So it was great. Peter, you did a great job for us.
You hear so many nightmare stories about movers. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's nice that there's the good movers available.
That's one of the reasons why I have Peter on here, because I'm very grateful, because it's very difficult when I refer out people to contractors or, movers or anything like that, and they don't do a good job. I feel really bad about it, even though it's not my company or anything. And how many moving companies have we had on this show over the last several years, Johnny? We had 3 or 4 movers as sponsors of the show. They're not here anymore, and there's a reason. We had problems with every single one of them where they just weren't given the customer service we needed. So I highly recommend that if you're looking for a reputable moving company, that you got to call Bald Eagle Moving for a quote for sure. Peter, where exactly do you cover, and do you do out-of-state moves? Do you only do in-state? What are your specialties?
So we cover all over South Florida. We're based in Jupiter, North Palm Beach County. Mm-hmm. But we go anywhere. We do any local, long distance, any kind of moves. We specialize in personal service, mm-hmm. meaning we guarantee the dates, flat rate. We work directly with the customer, so that's pretty much how we operate.
Peter came to me because one of the Real Radio listeners recommended that he call us to maybe buy a home in the future. Nice. And then when we sat down, when I was going over the buyer presentation, he's a mover, so his phone is ringing off the hook, and logistically he's got to deal with all this stuff. And one of my friends who used to own a moving company, so I knew how they work. And I watched Peter, and I watched how he talked to his crew, and I watched how he called and responded to his customers, which he had a bunch of phone calls when we were together. And I was like, I'm liking this guy. I like what I'm hearing. He wasn't doing it he didn't even know I was kind of monitoring it. And then that's when I started saying, hey, can I refer you out? We did give him to Roberto Falcones at one point, and they loved Peter, but they decided at the last minute that they were going to do the family move where they got a couple of friends and they all went up with the kegger and did the move kind of thing that way. But they said they were so impressed with Peter and they would have used him if they were going to use a moving company. So I'm so glad that Greg and Diane had that great experience, because that's what I expected to have.
Yeah, there wasn't even one complaint from Peter right to his crew. Always, everything was, customer service was on top of it. And he was always touching in on how things were going.
That's awesome. I have a customer, Peter, that might be moving to South Carolina. Do you do moves from Palm Beach County to South Carolina?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. No problem.
Okay, great. So I'm going to talk to them about talking to you. We don't have the listing yet, but when that happens, I'll let you know right away. Okay. So
appreciate you.
Peter, just one last question about one question that I have for customers. How do you know if the quote that you're getting from the moving company is a legit quote and you're not going to be bait and switched?
So pretty much you're looking for, I would say, too low of the quotes. If the deal looking too good of the deal, and you're looking if it's what the paperwork says. If paperwork says binding estimate, meaning flat rate, that's how we operate. We give one number price, which never change, and that's what we stand for. That's pretty much what I would focus on in this point.
Yes, the binding quote is really, really important, because there are disreputable movers out there that will give you one quote, and then when they put the stuff on the truck and they get it to where it needs to go, they go, hey, the truck's much heavier than what we thought. We need you to pay more money or you don't get your furniture back. And, the Sun Sentinel did a big investigation like 30 years ago about that, and they changed the state law to not allow that to happen. And about 8 years ago, they changed the law back, and now that loophole's out there. So you got to be really careful. And Peter offers binding quotes, so you're not going to have to worry that the number's being changed. That's really, really important. So it's Bald Eagle Moving, right, Peter?
Correct.
Okay, Bald Eagle Moving in Jupiter.
The website, phone number?
Yeah. Could you go ahead and put out your phone number and a good way to contact you on a website if you can?
So phone number 561-531-4627. And website's pretty simple, baldeaglemoving.com.
Awesome. My last question on this is, do you use any moving brokers? That's another tip I want to give people. Am I correct that when you call up a moving company, you should ask, are you the ones that are going to be doing the move? Do you know what I mean by that?
Correct, yeah.
That's correct. So like when you call Peter, Peter's going to be the moving company, but there are a lot of moving brokers out there that they're really not going to do the job for you. They're just going to they're basically a middleman that's making money off the spread, if you will. And that's costing you more money. And on top of it, you don't have the real mover giving you the real quote. With Peter, you're getting the quote from the company that's bound. So Bald Eagle Moving is the way to go to at least to get a quote and find out what's going on.
BaldEagleMoving.com.
Peter, thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend. And thank you for taking time out with your son. I know you're with the son right now. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great weekend.
Appreciate you. You have a great rest of your weekend. That's BaldEagleMoving.com. Is it moving or movers?
Moving.
Moving.com.
Yep.
Yep.
Perfect.
Great looking website too.
Yeah, I
just
haven't
pulled it
even
up here
checked it out yet. Yeah.
Their trucks are great looking too.
Yeah, they are.
I've
Everything
seen the
is like
trucks
top
on the
notch
road.
about those guys.
Yeah, I've seen their trucks on the road now. That's awesome. So we've got Greg and Diane here, and they're seller buyers, and we were talking about the process, and we went over a timeline where they decided in January it was time for them to move, and they wanted to downsize, and we went over the timeline. So they called us on January 8th. We met on January 17th, and we sold their house and bought their new home on the same day of April 7th. That's a true seller-buyer deal because they needed the money from the sale of the house to purchase their new home, and we did what was called a simultaneous close. That means you're selling your house and buying your house on the same day, and the money is being transferred from the sale of your home to the other title company to purchase the new home.
How long were you homeless?
Half hour.
Oh, was that your first time being
Oh,
homeless?
that's right.
Yeah.
Was it? And how was that experience? You're like, well, we have the air mattress.
Stressful.
It was a terrible half hour.
That's right. I forgot. Diane sent me a note. She goes, I think it was exclamation, you made us homeless for 30 minutes. So that was really funny because that's the real thing that people have to worry about when they're seller buyers. Like, where am I going to live if this goes wrong?
And not to offend anybody, they were residentially challenged.
That's a good way.
Unhoused. Unhoused. That's right.
So what do you think the key takeaways, because you did really have a smooth as glass situation. It was really very smooth compared to some other customers that have seller buyers. What do you think were the big things that made you have such a smooth process?
To start with, can I just say hi to our
Of
grandchildren?
course, yes, of course.
Hi, Liam. Hi, Elise. Hi, Theo.
Hey, guys.
How old are they?
Liam's 5.
5.
Elise is going to be 3 this month, and Theo is 2.
Oh,
so
5, 3,
cool.
2. Hey, Theo. Theo, what's their names? I'm sorry, Theo.
Theo and
Leah?
Elise.
Oh, Elise.
And then Liam. You've met Elise.
I know. I met Elise.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, guys, now you're famous. You're on radio for
Yeah.
the first time.
So cool.
So that's so cool. So
Are they all siblings?
No, Elise and Liam are siblings, and Theo is actually, he's in Michigan.
Oh,
So, but the other 2 are in Broward County.
very cool.
So,
Elise is so cute. She was very shy when I met her too.
Yeah.
She didn't really want to
yeah,
talk much.
she's a sweetie.
So, what do you think were the key things that made your process go through so smooth? Now that you're looking back at it.
Well, I think, as you've been saying, hire the professionals. I mean, I think, with Jim and Nancy, they were, with everything. If it wasn't Jim, it was Nancy. And it seems like you're always a step ahead with the questions we had, and concerns. And, the joke is about my anxiety. And I do have a lot of anxiety about things and change. And I know, Jim knows about that. And, I find what could possibly go wrong, and my head goes through it. And so I ask a lot of questions, and, you were honest with things, and I think you protected us, and, it went much smoother than I expected.
Yeah, well, you learn quickly though. You gotta be careful how many questions you ask Jim. That could be 8 hours later. You're still getting an answer.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. But Diane, I think, met my match, if you will, because every time I answered, she would actually hang up, and they would call back 15 minutes later. We go, we have another question. So it was like, and nothing wrong with that, because you need to know your answers. So I have no problem answering any kind of questions people have. And I really appreciate that you took the advice that I gave you, and you trusted the advice I was doing, because I had your best interest in heart to get the most money you can get for your house without being unrealistic, right? So that you could buy your new home and have comfort knowing that your house was definitely going to sell, and that you were going to be able to buy the new home. That's such a crucial thing. You don't want to push in today's market. You don't want to push the listing price too high, or you're going to turn off the buyers, and they're not even going to come to the house to even look at the house. And we were talking at the time, I'm not talking real numbers here, but the Coral Springs home was a really nice home. When I walked in, I was so happy when I saw it. It's a 1970s home built in Coral Springs. And it had a pool. It had a very big oversized lot. The community, all the neighbors, it was just a really desirable community. And no HOA. And it had a really nice pool. It had the old Florida pool. Is that the true depth? Like, is it a true 8-foot pool? I never went in the pool.
No, it's 6 foot.
Oh, it's a 6 foot.
It was, yeah.
But it's just a really, really nice property. And it had some upgrades like impact windows. I think your roof was newer, if I'm not mistaken.
18,
yeah.
But the kitchen was, I don't think it was original, was it?
No.
But it was old still, because it's a 1970s house. So the kitchen really, we even talked about it. When I looked, I said, the only problem I'm going to see with the house when we go to sell it is the kitchen. While it's a really nice kitchen and everything, the layout and everything's great. It's dated. It isn't like you have to rip it out tomorrow, but people are going to probably want to upgrade it. So then it became, what are we going to do with the kitchen, if anything? And then you guys went out and got somebody to look at refacing the cabinets and doing some things. And then we decided it wasn't worth it, and would just go ahead and sell it as it is. And it didn't really affect us, because we sold the house in 12 days. Right. So, and really 2 of those days, I think we're negotiating, trying to see if we can get into contract. So we knew even earlier that we were probably going to go into contract with the people. Now, pricing it was key to get your property done. The other thing I think that gave you guys a really great edge is your openness when you went to go look at other properties. You had a very set budget and you didn't want to go over it, but you weren't unrealistic for what you could buy. And you got a great deal, right? You got a really good deal on the house that you did buy. But we knew the first time we went out, I knew we would find your home in a reasonable amount of time, because you were picky enough that you didn't want to just buy anything. But you also knew that in your budget, you weren't expecting Taj Mahal stuff or anything like that, and that we were really looking at communities that were affordable for you.
Yeah.
And it was funny what Frank was saying about seeing a whole neighborhood replacing roofs and everything. I think your neighborhood, there were a lot of people replacing roofs at that time in the community, but your roof is already done, so you didn't have to worry about it, which was a really big thing for Diane. She really wanted, and Greg, they really wanted that newer roof, so we got them that. So then we got under contract, but the problem we had is the buyer wanted to close early and then let you live there basically for free till you found your home. But that was very scary to you guys, right?
Yeah.
So what was the fear about that? Because that's a real concern.
Well, I think the biggest fear was, we living there 60 days, they said, hey, you can live there 60 days. And we thought, hey, that's a really nice offer. But then at the end of the 60 days, if we had not found our home, then we'd literally be homeless.
Yep.
And that really scared the pants off of us, right? We didn't want to do anything to risk being without a home. So that was our biggest fear. And that's why, we asked Jim, hey, can you go back and talk to them? This worries us a lot.
And I think there were one time at least during the negotiations going back and forth that we actually said, I think it, tell me if I'm wrong, but I actually did the little takeaway with them where it's like, maybe this isn't a good match.
Right. That was right, because we had in our contract that we wanted 60 days for us to find a home and to protect us. And then when they came back and said no on that, but you can stay there 60 days and we won't, while you're looking for your home, and you know, we won't charge you or anything. And that didn't, like Greg said, it didn't make us feel comfortable, but you were able to go back and negotiate with, there was a few hours there where we didn't know if they were going to, if this wasn't going to work. And it was, you know,
and we would have walked away from it, like you said, even though it was a great deal and a cash deal, a great buyer, you know, we just didn't want to have that risk factor.
The stress of not knowing.
So we did the 30 days in the contract,
right? So
they gave us 30, which
they gave us 30 days to tell them, are we ready to sell the house to you or not? So what that means is the buyer went under contract with us, not knowing for sure they were going to close. They were hoping they were going to close because they were giving us 30 days to go find the home. And if we couldn't find a home in 30 days, we had the ability to call them and say, I'm sorry, we haven't found a new home. Either we'd like to extend, because that's what I was going to do, or we're going to have to cancel the contract and move on. And you could always come back to us later if we go under contract, right? And we went back and forth and they agreed. And let me tell you, those buyers were really, really nice too. They were very nice people, just like you guys are. And everybody was very cooperative on both sides for that. And that was making me feel so good. I was like, wow, we really got a really good opportunity here. And
well, they're shared interest.
Yeah.
I mean, they really do. Yeah.
I think the goal is to get to closing.
I think so.
Yeah, the goal is to get to closing, right?
It's not to go under contract?
Not just to go into contract, no.
Okay.
Feels right, Ross. I think you're on the right path.
All right.
So it's kind of like Seinfeld. It's more than just setting the appointment, it's making the appointment that you need, right? So then the next thing we had to do is find their new home. But I was very confident, even though you guys were a little nervous about it, I knew I was very confident you were going to get your home because I saw how you were reacting to the homes that we were seeing. And we probably looked at what, 9-10 homes?
Yeah.
So
easily.
you hadn't you went under contract with selling your house, but you hadn't chosen where you were going to move to yet.
Right.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Johnny. I mean, Jimmy, I didn't.
I can see the scariness of that.
That's when the anxiety.
Yeah, Jimmy
Jimmy
did the opposite. He found his home before he wanted to put it on the market, right? And then we had plenty of time because they had to build it, so we had plenty of time to sell it. But with you guys have already made a commitment to sell the house and didn't have a new home, but you had an out. You had 30 days that if you didn't find what you were looking for, you could just pull out of the contract with no penalty to you. Right. And the buyers would have got their deposit back. So we're not trying to hurt the buyers. We just needed the time to find your home. So we went out and looked at a couple of communities, and some of them we liked the communities, but not the house. Some of them communities we didn't like. And where you ended up moving to in Boynton Beach, we went to that community once before and didn't like the house at all, and wasn't even sure we liked the neighborhood so much because of the area that we're in.
Oh, no, the one we're in, though, we actually remember we saw the house, we really liked it, but it was just before we put our house on the market. So, and it sold that weekend.
Oh, that's what happened. That's right. We liked that community. I'm sorry. We looked at some.
There was some other that, like you're saying,
But with that one, you're right, and we were bummed out that it sold, and we weren't ready yet. And we missed out on that one. But life gives you cherries when you be a good person and you do the right things. And you guys did the right things the whole way. So then we found an even better home, in my view, than what you got. The home you got was awesome. And we were very lucky about that because, Johnny, the person that was listing it was a Keller Williams agent. Now, the guy didn't know he didn't know me personally, but he knew my reputation. And I had been bugging him for several days to get into that house because it was coming soon and they wouldn't let anybody in the house, but we needed to get in. And I kept bugging the agent and explained that I had to sell the house to buy the house, which can make the sellers very nervous. And he worked it out where we were the first people to come in to see the house. So the day it went on the market was the day after we went into contract on. The day we went into contract on your house to sell, we found the dream home, right? Yeah. And then when we went there, I was very, very nervous that day because you guys loved it. I loved it. And there were other people there showing the property. And one of them was a pilot. Do you remember that? The pilot?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this pilot's going to beat us out for sure. Because he wanted the furniture and everything like we did.
But
And
he lives down the road, by the way, now.
He bought
Does
a
he?
different
He
one.
bought someone
He
else?
bought
Oh, wow.
he bought the next house that came up.
We
Oh,
haven't met yet, but we met his
Yeah.
neighbors.
Oh,
and
that
everything,
is so
we're
cool.
kinda
I'm glad
like,
that he got something too, because he was a nice guy too.
Yeah.
When we were
Yeah.
talking to him, he was a super nice
Yeah.
guy. I go, oh, this guy's going to offer more than we're going to offer. I think we're going to lose out. I was so nervous for Greg and Diane. And then we were going to turn in an offer, and Lee goes, what the problem was, we turned in an offer actually a little bit above list price, just a little tiny bit, 0.5% above list price, just to make it show that we were serious. But at the same time, we asked for every stick of furniture they had. They were offering it, but did they give you the plates and the silverware and everything?
No,
Yeah.
no, they
Okay,
took
the
it
other
away.
house, the other house was plates.
But
and
they left a
silverware.
75-inch Sony TV, so we were happy.
And let me tell you, that couple, they bought that house 4 years earlier or something like that,
Yeah.
or 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
And they hired an interior designer to touch every square inch of that house, Johnny. So the pictures on the walls and everything were done by an interior designer, and the house was nice. And they got all the furniture. That's
Sweet.
what. Yep.
Everything.
They got everything that they wanted, which was awesome. And those sellers were just as nice as your buyers. So I had 3 beautiful families we were working with at one time. It was awesome. The agents were great. The title companies for both sides are great, because that's a logistical problem. That was a really big thing. But I want to remember, you mentioned about the anxiety thing, Diane, and I just want to say the funny story, if you
Yeah.
don't mind, one more time.
It's okay.
At one point, when we were getting in deep with Diane and Greg on the negotiations, and it got a little scary, because the sellers for the house you wanted to buy did not want a contingency that you needed to sell your home. And normally when we buy a house and we're selling a house, we usually put in the contract for the purchase, hey, we definitely want to buy your house, but our house has to close. And if our house doesn't close, we want the ability to back out. And the agent told me, Jim, we have multiple offers. If you put that clause in there, I don't think the seller's going to take it. So then we had to have the real conversation. Are we going to waive that right that we were asking for you? And normally I would say no. Normally I would say, this is a little risky. If you want to take the risk, I'm okay. Let's go down that path together. But if you don't want to take the risk, I understand it might not be a good match. Let's move on. But that house was perfect for you. It had the brand new roof. It had all the furniture. The furniture had to be tens and tens of thousands of dollars, right? And I was like, this is such a good deal. So because they were already gearing up for your inspection on the home that you were having, I knew that because of our inspection period on the purchase, that we would know before your inspection period was done whether your buyers were going to buy the house or not, because your buyers were cash. So all we had to worry about was the inspection. We didn't have to worry about appraisal or anything else, or a lender or anything like that. So I was like, their inspection, the buyer's inspection, is going to end before we have to finish our inspection. So that would have given us the out to pull out. So we didn't use that clause on that one. We used the clause for the buyer saying, hey, we got to find a home, but we didn't have the clause for the seller. And Diane was concerned about that, and I understand that was it. So we started going over with Greg and Diane on the phone all the things that could have went wrong that would stop the sale, because that's what you're worried about. You don't want to be homeless. And at one point, we went over all the different things that could happen realistically. I said, guys, this is so rock solid. There's really nothing. And they're like, well, what could go wrong? I go, well, I was joking. I was saying, maybe you guys are mass murderers and you won't be able to pass the HOA, right? Like maybe you can't get them. And like, well, that's not going to happen. I go, of course not. And I go, I'm not worried about title, because that other house was just bought 4 years ago. So it was done recently, and you own the house forever. So you know if your title is good or not, right? So we started going over all the things that normally could kill a deal. And then you called back about the title work. He's like, hey, we want to ask you the problems that you said that we could have with the title. And I actually was joking at that point. I said, oh my gosh, when I hung up with you, I wish I never said that, because now I got it in your head. And then And then just to show how confident I was being kind of sarcastic. And I said, well, if you really want to worry, let's worry. Your house could burn down to the ground, right? Your house could burn down to the ground before it's ready to sell. And I said, or the house could blow up, right? One of the houses could blow up and you can't buy it. And you called me back a little later, and Greg goes, I just want to let you know we rented the fire truck to park out our house. And I was joking around. But then I was doing research the very next week, and I was reading articles about funny news stories, and I found out about a house in Ohio that was under contract and it was vacant, and it didn't close because there was a gas line leak. And it blew up the house into smithereens, like there was nothing left. It was cinders, right? Just little bits and pieces of the house.
Terrible.
And I was like, oh, I guess I can't joke around that. Well, maybe the house could blow up. Maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. So, but it did go through as smooth as it could go. And it was good that you were concerned, to be concerned, because what you don't know is the scariest part. And asking questions is the most reasonable way to get to the bottom of whether it can be done or not. My last question about this part is, were you guys happy? Are you guys happy that you moved? Do you have any buyer's remorse or seller's remorse?
No, we're very happy. Yeah, we did the right thing. And I think it was perfect timing to do what we did. But we're really happy we made the move.
So this whole idea that it's a really bad seller's market and it's really bad time to buy, did you get that? Is that the way you felt when you were going through this process?
No, actually, we sold our house. I think they talked about the contract started like within 5 days, wasn't it? It was really soon. And then with buying our house, no.
Yeah, I think the key was with the whole net sheet. And when we sat down with you, the initial, sit down and going over everything, I think the key was we knew we could buy our home, sell our home, right, and buy a home and not have a mortgage. And so as long as we were comfortable in that, the market out there really didn't, I should say, it didn't matter, but we were pretty confident we were at a good place as far as the selling price on the home, and you did a great job on that, because I know I was a little bit, I think we could go higher, and you said, look, I really think we ought to put it here. And that was, I think, one of the best things we ever did. We took your advice, from start to finish. But I think that was the main thing. We were confident we could sell our home and get into the home we wanted, and do what we wanted to do with just, get rid of a mortgage.
And there's two other things. You went to Ross Komarinetz to get the insurance for your home, and because they had the new roof and everything, I'm sure you got a pretty decent quote.
Yeah,
for that.
Did a great job for us, Ross and his team, and that was great. We had another broker we had been with for a long time, 14 years. They had done a good job of keeping our insurance, where it should be, but Ross, we just felt very comfortable. The great thing is too about, Ross is being able to call and get him. The other folks we were with, we weren't able to, go right there and get to the owners and the head folks. So
Juno it.
Right.
Juno Beach.
You know that.
Juno it, right?
One other thing too on that, when I lost my words there. So, even though there's so much inventory, but it was interesting. We were able to sell our house really fast, which they say is not an easy thing right now in this market. And also it's a buyer's market because of all the inventory, but we were kind of fighting for a house. So it was, from what you could hear, the market is on both sides. I don't think we kind of fit the.
And did you notice that the houses that weren't in good condition, you just walked away, didn't even want to make an offer, right? Because it wasn't priced right based on the condition, right?
Right.
But that house was totally on point and priced right. That's why you had the house you bought.
Yeah.
That's why you had competition. And frankly, you would have had competition on the sale of your home. If we had it on the market longer, you might have got extra people coming in.
Well, remember we had that buyer backup.
Yeah, we had.
The
That's right. I forgot. We put a backup buyer in, just like we always do, in case the first person fell out. We wanted to have the backup buyer because the house was popular, and it was priced right based on the condition. Because there was some things people were going to want to do. Chris, one of my agents on my team, when he came to look at the house, and he loves looking at houses because he fixed them up and everything. He goes, I love that house. He goes, but it needs everything. It's a total gut job. And my attitude was, just because of the age of it, right? Some of this stuff. But my attitude is I wouldn't do a gut job on that house. I would update the kitchen and maybe update the master bath, and I'm good. You know what I mean? So it all worked out really, really well. Now, the other thing that happened that a lot of seller buyers don't know about is portability, tax portability. So if I hadn't talked to you about tax portability, would you have even known that it existed?
No.
Isn't that crazy?
No.
How much money do you think you saved on your taxes because you took your tax rate from your old home and brought it to your new home?
Well, I think the percentage with that formula, what was that? It was like 50, wasn't it 50% or something
Wow.
like that? It was like a huge, because of the years that we were in the house and how much when we bought the house, it was at a low price. It was during the bad times when the, market was down. And
But when I
everything.
bought that home, the realtor didn't tell me anything
No.
about portability. So
you had portability. To be fair, they might not have had portability 20 years ago.
They did.
It was
they
14,
did?
and it was
Did they
14.
really?
Yeah, it was 14.
Oh, wow. So see, there you go. You had a realtor that didn't even save you the money.
Yep.
Jimmy, when you did your house, you did portability, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And boy, did this save us a time, because we were in a similar situation where the house that we were living in, I bought that in 2000. So, I mean, I had a lot of years there. And of course, the rates have gone up and up and up and up. So it really saved us thousands each year.
Yeah, each year. And
thousands of dollars.
Just for people that don't know, tax portability, if you own a home and you're homesteaded, and then you go to buy a new home and you want to homestead that home, you could take your homestead rights from your first home and the discounts that you saved over the years and then use it towards the new home. Because normally what happens is, let's say Ross has a house and he's got a tax bill of $3,000 a year because he's lived there 20 years. I'm just making up a number. And then Johnny comes to go buy Ross's house and he buys it at today's current market value. The county gets to come in and reset the tax bill for Johnny based on the new purchase price. Then Johnny locks in his homestead rights, and then the taxes can't go up. They're capped as how far they can go up every year. But that first year is pretty shocking. But if you have tax portability, you can take the credits of what you saved on your current home and bring it over to the new home. So there's huge savings there. And it can really make a big difference in a seller buyer if they're on a tight budget.
They don't talk about this like a title or anything. Like, hey, like when you're selling.
It's so funny. Nobody talks. I mean, people use it. It isn't like it's unheard of,
right?
But not enough people use it because they just don't even know about tax portability.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like a title company should.
I know.
Be like, hey, are you going to buy another house?
Yeah.
When you're selling it, like, hey, you could bring this with you.
Yeah.
Actually, didn't that one title company for our buyers mention? We already knew about it from you, but I think she did mention it.
Yeah, one of the that's true. One of the
did.
title companies did. Yeah.
The time to bring it up is when they're like, all right, so here's when you need to homestead buy, right? I mean, that conversation's happening, I would imagine.
Well,
unless it's an investor.
Well, what we try to do, Johnny, is, and we're going to do this with you when you start, right? We're going to give you a page from the county website. Is it the tax collector or the property appraiser? I can't remember.
Appraiser.
On the property appraiser site, which we're going to have Dorothy Jacks come on the show again very soon. They actually have a calculator that if you type in what the address of the property is, they'll tell you based on the new purchase price what your tax bill should be, and then you can calculate your portability on top of it and show the discount on there.
Nice.
So that way you can, in case you are trying to set a budget for a mortgage or something, like you guys want to have no mortgage, but let's say you're buying a house and you're going to have a mortgage. Well, this will really help set your real true mortgage payment with the correct escrows for the correct tax estimate. That's in there. So that, those are like really big tips for seller buyers, because sometimes that makes the difference of whether you're going to buy or not. That tax bill for some people can make the difference. Like, oh yeah, I'm doing this now because I'm not going to pay that super high tax bill on the new home.
Could be hundreds of dollars a month.
Yes, hundreds of dollars a month. Yes, really, really important. Now, how do you like the community you're in? You never lived in Palm. I know you've worked there a little bit. You never lived in Palm Beach County. How do you like it?
Oh, I would like it.
Do you like Palm Beach County?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, we love it. I mean, I worked right down the road here for 14 years, but I would just sail by Boynton Beach, on the turnpike. Never never really stopping. So, but we love it. We're learning about new places every day, and it's a great community.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you guys, Greg and Diane, first for coming into the show, of course, for trusting our team to do everything that we were able to do for you. And I feel so blessed to have met you, but I'm also so happy about how smooth everything went for you guys. And I love it when that happens like that. So
yeah, no, thank you and the team for a fantastic job, and shout out to Nancy. She was like the best. She was on top of every single.
You salute
thing.
her every time.
Yeah, we always use a stripes reference when talking about Nancy. She's the Sergeant Holka. She's the big toe.
I'll
Like
tell you, very helpful.
She's
to
gyms
us,
everything
and
for sure.
help minimize our anxiety, if you know what I'm talking.
yeah, Nancy's very good on that. And the other thing is it's funny. Nancy has never seen stripes, so when I call her Sergeant Holka, she has no idea what I'm talking.
Gotta
about.
have her watch it.
Right? And I asked her, she hasn't watched it yet. I'm like, whatever. I'll call you Sergeant Holka.
The big toe.
Anyway, you're my big toe.
I remember sending her an email, and it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and she responds.
Yeah.
The weekend doesn't matter. She's
doesn't
there.
matter. Yeah.
She's fantastic.
So if you're thinking about selling a home and buying a home and you have no idea how to make that happen and you're not even sure it'll work for you, please give us a call. We'll sit down and give you a free consultation. We're going to go over everything, guys. We didn't know the day we met for sure if we were going to work together. We thought we would, but there was no guarantee. And if the numbers didn't work, we weren't going to work together because I was going to tell you, hey, I'm not sure this is going to work.
Right.
So thank you so much. And if anybody else is out there looking for results like this, please give us a call. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, it's real simple. FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. I'll give you all the details on our way out, but FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
So, Johnny, I want to talk to you about what's going to happen next week. We are going to be talking about the down payment assistance program, Hometown Heroes. I had a long conversation with Mike this week because I might be using that program, and I learned a lot. You guys got to get going right away. I thought that you would have to August, September to get all this stuff done. You need to be in contract in like June in order to be guaranteed the money to close in July or August. So if
I'm going to
you're
be talking to
looking
Mike
at
about
buying-
this soon too, because my mom, her sale of her property has gone
3 years.
Yeah, she's almost 4 years now. So she would be considered a first-time buyer, and if she takes the lead on our property, that might be the.
You might get in $20,000, $25,000, $30,000
Yeah.
in the state.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about all of that next week. Really, really important stuff. If you're thinking about buying, we're going to tell you why it's a good time to be a buyer. And don't listen to all those talking heads out there. Greg and Diane, did you feel bad that you bought your home and felt like you got ripped off, or was a bad time to buy or anything?
No,
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all.
Right. So you got to take advantage of today's market, because when the interest rates drop, you're going to be fighting everybody else off. So don't do that. One last thing. Open house today, 1 to 3 o'clock, 5 Danby Place in Boynton Beach and Boynton Lakes North. No gated community, so just come on over. It's in a cul-de-sac. Shauna Tran will be there from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. today.
How close are you guys to that? Do you know where that is, Greg, Diane?
No.
No?
No.
You have to drive around and see where it is.
Yeah, we'll have to go by.
Because that's your hood-ish,
It is,
right?
you hood now.
it is.
Hood-ish.
Yep.
Beautiful thing. Those details for that open house you can find, again, starting at 1 o'clock today. You can find those on Florida Talk Real Estate's Facebook page. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook is a remarkable resource. Of course, we live stream every Saturday, but you get all kinds of open houses, and Jim puts all kinds of things on there. You should be a friend. I don't know. Is that the way it works on Facebook? You friends? You like? What do you do? I'm not a Facebooker.
I guess you asked to be friends or
All right.
something. Oh,
Let's
no,
be
you
friends.
like the page. You like the page.
We'll like it and
Friends
share
for
it.
Jim DePola, like the page.
There you go. Do all that. Yeah. If you're there with us right now and you haven't, click those buttons. Please. It makes a difference for the algorithm. And of course, if you hit share, you could be changing lives without even realizing it. You have people that know you that may be looking to buy a home, sell a home. They're stuck with their home. They don't know what to do. And they need pros. They need experts in their field so they can get it done right. And you could be helping them without even realizing you're giving them the nudge. So hit the share, hit the like, and remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. That is your resource to the entire team. One-stop real estate shop. We call it that for a reason. Pros. You get them all at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. And man, we like Greg and Diane. You're like, whew, so glad I went to them because that was amazing. Look, there are lots of people that are good at what they do. You should try to find people that are great at what they do. That's why I give you FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. A bunch of people that are great at what they do. And it's great to have you with us every Saturday. Thanks for being a part of the show. We'll be back at it next Saturday. 2 hours of infotainment. In the meantime, Greg and Diane, nice to meet you. Thanks for the support of Real Radio over the years, and congratulations on your seller buyer experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure
Great
to
to
have
hear.
you in. Have a great weekend. Ross Komarinetz with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Have a good weekend, my friend.
Thank you too. Hope everybody has a good weekend.
And there's Jimmy D, Jim DePola with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. Have an awesome weekend, my friend.
You too, Johnny. Thank you so much.
Jimothy, my brother from another mother. Have a great weekend.
You as well, Johnny, Jim, Ross, Greg, and Diane. Thanks for coming in. A pleasure to see you. Have a great weekend.
We got a little Panther talk coming up here, huh?